Once again, Tudor has shown up its big brother. They surprised me. The new watches. I didn't see these coming. For years, Tudor's been on a roll, tapping into the heritage both of Tudor but also of its big brother, Rolex. And it's had massive success, not technically relaunching what's been done in the past, but taking heavy inspiration from that stuff. It's been a real hit, and that's exactly what they've done this year. So we've got 4 new watches. It's kind of 4. It's more 3 new watches and then a whole new range. But this is what we've got. We've got a new GMT. They've expanded the Pepsi, and we now have a Rootbeer in S&G. That's steel and gold. It's Tudor's format of steel and gold. They can't call it solid gold because there are parts that aren't solid. It's capped, but then it's not normal capped gold because it's much thicker than typical capped gold. The bezel itself is solid gold along with the crown. The end links are also solid gold, but then the center links, they are capped gold. So you have a steel inner, then there's a thick coating of gold on top of that. I appreciate me walking around might be making some of you dizzy, but it is heaving today at Watches and Wonders. Then there's no free space to sit down and chat, so we're gonna have to be nomadic, on the move. I guess I can take this opportunity to show you around. This watch is exactly the same as the Pepsi GMT, exactly same specifications, same movement. It's just in the steel and gold and with the brown and black bezel insert. And it only costs $4,290. There's a new Black Bay Chrono in steel and gold as well. Again, just like with the GMT, the specs are exactly the same as the previous. The only difference is, exactly like the GMT, we have a solid gold bezel, solid gold crown, solid gold end links, and then the center links are also capped gold. On the bracelet, this is $5,590, and on the strap, it's $4,620. And this looks killer on the bund strap. The dial on this is a gold burst, but you also have the option to have a black matte dial as well. One of the biggest changes, one of the coolest changes, is what they've done with the Black Bay non-rotating bezel range. The 31, the 36, 39 and 41 Black Bay range. They've pretty much just launched a whole new watch, and they probably could have called it something different as well, because the original Black Bay 36, for example, is it's kind of like a relaxed field watch, has a sporty element to it, kind of tactical element to it. Now they've completely redesigned the case and the bracelet, and the case is really quite curvaceous. It's quite elegant now, whereas before it had quite a robust looking case. It's basically very slab-sided, and now it's just full of curves, and it looks brilliant. And just a bit of a note, this looks really quite plain and not exciting on paper. The press images don't look that fancy. Honestly, it doesn't do it justice. In person, this looks and feels brilliant, and it's quite fancy as well. You have the options of having diamonds on the dial or having diamonds on the bezel, and I can't remember the number. I think there's 48 different variations of what you can do. Obviously, change sizes, change dials, change bezels. It's quite a big fan of this. Oh, and the other big thing is the movement. They all now have in-house movements. The most expensive variant is $5,130, and the cheapest variant of the 39mm is $3,950. And now for the big one, arguably the most important watch from Tudor's launch. This is a brand new model. It's an extension of the Black Bay range, but this is a brand new piece. This is the Black Bay Pro. I think this thing is awesome, and I did not see this coming. This tracks 2 time zones. It's the GMT watch. It's all steel. It has a new bracelet, it has a brand new clasp, and arguably one of the best clasps in the market. And the loom is just, it's awesome. The whole thing is just awesome. I'm going to do a video dedicated to this watch because I think it deserves that much attention, but I want to know your thoughts. How do you think this watch is going to fare? All of these watches, in fact, but this watch is kind of dubbed as the big release of the year. So, something that Tudor should be credited for, and I don't hear this being spoken about much on the internet, is how they're keeping their lug widths at decent sizes. They're not going for odd sizes like 21mm or 19mm. The Black Bay Chrono is 22mm, the Black Bay 58 and this new Black Bay Pro, they're 20mm. And the reason why this is important is that it means you can go to barkandjack.com and buy any of our straps and they will fit. It's just straightforward. A Tudor on a Bark and Jack strap is a match made in heaven. I'll stop selling. Anyway guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts on these watches. I want to know how popular you think this Black Bay Pro is going to be, because there's a lot of talk around it, a lot of people saying this is the big watch, but and I love it, but I don't have a mainstream taste. For example, I'm not a fan of the Sky Dweller. It does nothing for me, and so I feel like my taste is a little bit more utilitarian than most people's. So what are your thoughts? Is the Black Bay Pro going to be as popular as the Black Bay 58, or is it more going to be like the Black Bay Chrono launch, which is still a very popular watch, but just not quite as that crazy popularity as the Black Bay 58? Let me know. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you like the style of this video, then hit the subscribe button down there and a little bell icon. But also do that because I'm going to be launching more videos, one dedicated to the Black Bay Pro, seeing Grand Seiko tomorrow, seeing Oris in a couple of hours. Who else am I seeing? IWC, and there's someone else. I can't remember. Someone else. So subscribe so you don't miss out. And on Instagram, if you're on Instagram, give me a follow at Bark and Jack, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.